Armed with my green tea survival skills, I transmigrated into this apocalyptic world. As a seemingly naive, foolish girl, I immediately latched onto the female lead. While she bravely charged the front lines, shedding blood to fight the zombies, I, in my pretty, flouncy dress, stood safely behind, offering sweet, innocent cheers. "Go, big sis, you're doing great." She grappled with the decaying ruins, while I, serene and unbothered, filed my nails in the safe room. I thought I could live out my days in blissful ease, but then the male lead asterisk had asterisk to barge in and cause trouble. I'd shed a few deliberate tears, feigning utter helplessness, and he, battered and bruised, would play the wounded hero. Just as I was about to rush out to shield Phoebe, he moved a step quicker, taking a blade right through his body. HMPH asterisk. Wasn't he trying to steal my spotlight? I was still contemplating poisoning him and throwing him to the zombies. Suddenly, a cascade of comments flashed before my eyes. LOL, the male lead's flirting looks like he's hitting on a blind girl. Belle's still plotting his assassination, and he's over there picking out clothes. When the horde of zombies surged, I stood atop the city wall, my flouncy dress billowing, holding a delicate paper umbrella. From afar, I watched Phoebe below, fighting a bloody, self-sacrificing battle. "Go, big sis, you're amazing, so strong. Watch your left." The surrounding team members shot me irritated glances, muttering, "What kind of hypnotic charm has that girl put on the captain?" I gave him a cutting look, and he instantly plastered on a strained, fake smile, seething but daring not to speak. Half an hour later, Phoebe returned, her body covered in blood, a bag clutched in her hand. I rushed forward, pushing through, eagerly reaching her. Gently, I caressed her cheek. "Oh, big sis, you've worked so terribly hard. Belle feels so guilty. I couldn't help at all, only got in your way." "Wah, wah." Phoebe calmly wiped the blood from her face, offering a warm smile as she handed me the bag. "What are you talking about, Belle? These trivial matters are nothing when it's for my little sister." "Hurry, try it on and see if you like it." I opened the bag. Inside lay another magnificent Lolita dress. The kind I wouldn't dare wear in my previous life, nor could I ever afford. Yet here in the apocalypse, I possessed an entire wardrobe overflowing with them. This building had once been a Lolita specialty shop, but since the end of the world, it was overrun with zombies. Acquiring these dresses took considerable effort. "Big sis," I choked out, clutching Phoebe's hand, feigning profound emotion. "These dresses are secondary. As long as asterisk you are safe and sound, I, Belle, could live my entire life without wearing them." Phoebe's eyes instantly welled up with tears, her gaze overflowing with deep gratitude. "My dear sister Belle, my big sister Phoebe," gag. Elder Dew, standing nearby, truly couldn't stomach it anymore. He stumbled away, dry heaving violently. I, of course, acted as if I heard nothing, continuing to gaze adoringly at Phoebe. Only when others called Phoebe away to scavenge for supplies did I wave my tiny handkerchief, sniffling tearfully as I bid farewell to my golden thigh, feigning utter distress at our separation. Phoebe looked at me, fragile as a piece of silk, then decisively leaped from the vehicle. "Belle, this is my good luck charm, take it. And this is my knife, it's yours too. Go straight to my room, that's where you'll be absolutely safe." Someone nearby couldn't hold back. "Deputy Captain, that girl, Belle, she's completely faking it. Can't you see she's a professional green tea schemer?" "Silence," Phoebe's voice was sharp. "I am also a woman. Do you think I wouldn't recognize a green tea type? She is my dearest, most beloved sister. Her gentleness, kindness, vivacity, and charm all stem from the deepest part of her heart. It's absolutely not an act, as you people claim. You are all simply jealous of her." Everyone gaped, utterly flabbergasted. I turned, a subtle, triumphant smirk playing on my lips, to the person who had dared to speak, then instantly melted into Phoebe's protective embrace. It had been half a year since I transmigrated into this apocalyptic narrative, and now I was utterly at home in this end-of-the-world existence. I gently lifted the hem of my dress and glided gracefully up the stairs. The people around me, some in tattered clothing, others with hollow, hopeless eyes, still offered a deferential "Sister Belle" as I passed. This narrative unfolds at the close of the 22nd century. As the Arctic ice caps melted, an ancient virus erupted, plunging the world into a devastating zombie pandemic. The female lead, Phoebe, gifted with spatial abilities, alongside the male lead, Caspian, endured untold hardships to rebuild the world and rescue humanity. Everything was unfolding precisely as it should have, until I transmigrated into this very story. Initially, I was nothing more than a fleeting, inconsequential supporting character. In this harsh, post-apocalyptic reality, exchanging one's body for survival had become an all-too familiar custom. I was no exception. I had boldly propositioned Caspian, the male lead, only to be met with a cold, ruthless refusal. Worse, he intentionally provoked Phoebe's jealousy to affirm their undying love. Ultimately, I met a pathetically meaningless end during a zombie attack. Such a superficial, wretched conclusion. Therefore, I resolved to rewrite my own destiny. I would seek out Phoebe, cling tightly to her formidable support, and survive this ultimate crisis. As a bonus, I would impart some of my university physics knowledge to her. Phoebe possessed an extraordinarily rare spatial ability, yet throughout the original story, it was merely used as a walking storage locker. What an outrageous waste of talent. Big sis Phoebe, today, let's delve into aerodynamics, shall we? I enthusiastically pulled out the dusty university physics textbook I'd luckily scavenged, preparing to arm my golden thigh with some potent techniques. After all, knowledge is power. Things like air cannons, spatial displacement, spatial bending will master them all. To my surprise, Elder Dew, a member of our base, came trotting over with a wide grin. Belle, Captain Caspian wants you and Phoebe to attend a meeting. I sighed inwardly. Can't I just avoid it? The male lead Caspian was the undisputed leader of the base, his power absolute. I meanwhile fully embraced the authentic green tea, style sweet, innocent, and subtly manipulative. The people around me generally fell into two camps, those who openly despised me, not even bothering to conceal it, and those who sought to flatter me, hoping to leverage my relationship with Phoebe for personal gain. Only Caspian was the peculiar exception. He was actually imitating me. In the original plot, Phoebe was supposed to be injured during a zombie attack, and Caspian would unleash his incredibly cool, powerful abilities, bravely rushing out to save the beautiful heroine. From that moment, their unspoken affection would deepen, even if they outwardly feigned shyness. But to strengthen the bond between me and my golden thigh, Phoebe, I decided to sabotage this overly sentimental romantic cliché. I intended to rush out and take the blow for her. The result. The moment I lifted my foot to charge, Caspian was a step faster. He lunged out, shielding Phoebe and me, took a blade right through his body, and then grimaced a tragic, forced smile at me. Are you two all right? That's what matters. Why did I feel like something was off? HMPH*. Did they think I didn't understand the machinations of a green tea type? He clearly wanted to compete with me for Phoebe's affection. What else could it be? Cough, 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 cough. Before I even set foot in the meeting room, I heard Caspian's echoing coughs down the hallway. As Phoebe and I stepped in, he slowly lifted his head, his delicate, tear-filled eyes turning slightly, perfectly showcasing his angelic profile. It was undeniable. Caspian was undeniably handsome. Thick eyebrows, eyes sparkling like stars, sharp and chiseled features, monolid eyes that seemed to hold a galaxy within them. But now his face was unnaturally pale, as if he were anemic. Yes, handsome yet frail. The sight would normally evoke profound pity. But that's only when he wasn't acting. Excuse me. It seems the wound from saving you two last time still hasn't healed. It's all right, I'll be fine after a cough or two. I subtly rolled my eyes. These flamboyant theatrics, if brought to an acting competition, would surely clinch an Oscar. Caspian, why are you so weak? Phoebe rushed to his side, gently patting his back, her face etched with profound worry. It's nothing. I just forgot I was already injured, and then seeing you two in danger, I recklessly rushed out, almost dragging you both down with me. My deepest apologies, really. It sounded like an apology, but in truth, he was parading his heroic feat of saving the beauties. He's definitely a potent brew of green tea. Just as expected, upon hearing Caspian's words, Phoebe's guilt only intensified. I immediately forced out a few glistening crocodile tears. It's all my fault. Both Captain Caspian and Big Sis Phoebe were dragged into this because of me. If only I weren't so terribly weak, I wouldn't have been surrounded by those zombies last time. Wah. Belle, don't you dare blame yourself. It's my oversight for not protecting you well enough. Phoebe panicked, patting Caspian's back with one hand while frantically pulling out a handkerchief to wipe my tears with the other, her gaze overflowing with deep pity for me. Oh, dear, Caspian chimed in, perfecting his teacup act. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt you too. I just wanted a little water, but my hand. His voice trailed off, a picture of helplessness. Daily life is truly so inconvenient now. His face was stark white, his lips pressed into a pained, powerless smile, a sorrowful expression tinged with a youthful, carefree air. Only his hand was trembling continuously, clearly implying that Phoebe should take care of him. Oh, heavens and hell. If my precious golden thigh, whom I've just managed to cling to, gets snatched away, won't I just vanish into oblivion, just like in the original apocalyptic plot? I kept a straight face, even feeling a little excited, quickly gesturing for silence, then pulled out my phone to take a picture and sent it to Phoebe. After exactly 1.5 minutes, I immediately recalled the message. Oops, I accidentally sent that to you, big sis. Phoebe, don't misunderstand Captain Caspian. He's definitely not that kind of person. Caspian did something like that? Asterisk exactly, big sis Phoebe, I couldn't believe it either. Sigh, sure enough, no man can be trusted. That's right, that's right. Men are all useless, only I love you the most. Don't stay there, what if Caspian tries to silence you? I'm coming right now. Waya, I'm so scared. Big sis Phoebe, hurry. Caspian looked at me with an unreadable, complex expression. Serena also didn't expect me to react this way. Tears welled in her eyes but wouldn't fall, hanging precariously. Ha, I'm dying. Asterisk, Caspian looks like he thinks her doing that hurts more than misunderstanding him. Caspian's toast, his wife is about to get jealous. Belle, quick, report him. Serena is such a joke, daring to cosplay green tea in front of 2 true green tea masters. I could smell the tragedy from a mile away. I didn't bother to pay attention to the chaotic comments anymore. Serena, I knew her well. In the story, her base was destroyed by the Zombie King, and amidst the chaos, she fled to Caspian, hoping for protection. She thought her meager beauty could control his heart, but little did she know he already had Phoebe. But none of that mattered to me. What worried me most right now wasn't her appearance here, but that her presence here meant our base had been completely destroyed. That implied the terrifying zombie pandemic that had claimed my life in my previous existence was about to strike this world once again. I had to quickly use the little time remaining to cultivate and strengthen the great, profound revolutionary bond between Phoebe and me. As for relying on Caspian to protect myself, even if I knew now that he had feelings for me, what good would that do? Caspian in front of me was focused solely on his phone, typing away, then gently adjusting his collar before carefully bringing out a steaming bowl of duck soup. Did Belle cook this for me herself? He asked gently. Yes, that's right, and it's poisoned, I replied indifferently. If it's poison from Belle, I'll gladly drink it all, he declared. Just as he was about to bring the bowl to his lips, Serena suddenly rushed forward, grabbing his wrist, stopping him. No, Mr. Caspian, you're the leader of the entire base. How can you risk your life like that? I glanced at her small, pale hand, subtly frowning in annoyance. Caspian was originally going to shake her hand off, but as he lifted his arm, it suddenly changed direction, collapsing pitifully at my feet, a sight designed to tug at anyone's heartstrings. Serena didn't have time to react and pull back. Instead, she accidentally knocked over the hot bowl of duck soup, the liquid spilling out and drenching Caspian entirely. Mr. Caspian? His shirt collar was askew, hot droplets of soup trickling down his pale skin, his face a picture of extreme grievance like an abandoned puppy. Belle, you wouldn't believe Serena's words and misunderstand me, would you? Before I could even utter a reply, Phoebe burst into the room, wielding a gleaming chef's knife. You piece of scum, how dare you try to corrupt my pure, innocent Belle? See, women helping women is always the most reliable alliance. Right now, I was Caspian's great savior. If I hadn't intervened in time, Phoebe would have surely chopped him into mincemeat. Belle, listen carefully, she commanded, shaking my head so hard I felt dizzy. You absolutely must not be enchanted by Caspian's superficial good looks. I've seen through him long ago. He's nothing but a sly fox spirit disguised as a human. At first, he merely feigned injury to get close to you, and I even foolishly thought he might become your protector. Who knew this scoundrel harbored such wolfish ambitions, wanting to play the game of having a harem of concubines? So, big sis Phoebe, you've already seen through all his fake green tea tricks? I timidly asked, my voice barely a whisper. Then what about me? What about you? Phoebe looked utterly baffled, then immediately exploded in a furious tirade. Snap out of it, Belle. Caspian is a cunning, treacherous schemer. Nearly 30 years old, yet he constantly wears those pristine white shirts to put on an act. Besides his slightly better physique, what other good qualities does he possess? Just wait until I become the base leader. You can have as many men like him as you desire. Oh my god, Belle is the virtuous little sister, Caspian is the ultimate T-male, and Phoebe is undeniably the living embodiment of a double standard. The irony was, I was actually the one shipping Belle and Caspian. In Phoebe's eyes, Belle was a tender cabbage sprout being ravaged by a wild boar, while in our asterisk eyes, Phoebe was like King Joe, utterly captivated by Dadgy. Oh, Caspian, you're so handsome, so youthful, and so adorably innocent. Just how old are you this year? I happily snuggled into Phoebe's shoulder, speaking in a coy, pampered voice. That's right, that's right. No matter how much he might asterisk claim to like me, he could never, ever compare to my amazing big sis Phoebe. And very soon after, I realized that Phoebe's declaration of wanting to become the base leader was no jest. That evening, everyone gathered en masse in the Safe Zone's main building. In the center, a colossal bonfire crackled and blazed. In the front were the representatives of the various awakened ability teams, while behind them huddled the weary survivors of the pandemic. Phoebe stood on a high platform, her eyes blazing with righteous fury, and proclaimed, "Distinguished members, Caspian and I are both founders of this base. Today, I have convened this assembly to clarify one crucial matter: who is truly the most qualified person to manage this place?" Everyone looked at Phoebe, then at me, and finally, their gazes unanimously shifted towards Caspian. Lately, Phoebe had been like a fierce mother hen, relentlessly protecting her chick, wishing she could literally tie me to her waist and carry me everywhere. Caspian, meanwhile, constantly tried to explain himself, to apologize to me, but could never find an opportunity to interject. Ultimately, he could only wait until the quiet depths of the night, once Phoebe was sound asleep, before stealthily climbing through my window into my room. My fingertip brushed lightly against Caspian's Adam's apple, and he subtly flinched. I asked, a little curious, "Don't you like big sis Phoebe? Am I supposed to fall for my rival?" It sounded utterly illogical, the script wasn't quite right, but for some reason, I felt it made perfect sense. From that day forward, Caspian began a nightly ritual of climbing through my window into my room, each time clad in a different ensemble. Elegant suits, formidable military uniforms, and even adorable foxtails. I honestly couldn't handle his theatrics. The comments on the screen were utterly unanimous. Caspian has finally discovered the express route to Belle's heart. My face flushed, my heart hammered a frantic rhythm for days, living in a precarious state of forbidden excitement. Until today, that is, when Caspian was caught red-handed by Phoebe as he climbed through my window. She was so incensed that she convened an emergency base meeting, demanding his immediate expulsion from the base. Caspian's lips still bore a faint, nonchalant smile, as if nothing out of the ordinary was happening, completely unfazed by the uproar. He even secretly squeezed my hand. I batted my eyes innocently at Phoebe, feigning utter cluelessness and blamelessness. Phoebe shot me a cutting glance, her eyes silently conveying, "If you play dumb for one more second, I'll smack you." Suddenly, Serena stood up abruptly, her face blazing with righteous indignation, and loudly declared, "How can you all treat Mr. Caspian like this? He toiled tirelessly to establish this base, and now you're treating him so unjustly? I object. This is clearly an act of ruthless abandonment, using someone and then casting them aside." Everyone around fell silent, not daring to utter a word. Phoebe, however, nodded in approval. "This comrade speaks with great precision. Indeed, I do intend to use him and then discard him. Who told Caspian to flirt with my asterisk person?" Serena choked, utterly speechless. Still unwilling to yield, she pointed a stern finger directly at me, her voice rising. "You are all completely under Belle's spell. Look at her, dressed in extravagant outfits every single day as if she's walking a fashion runway. Living amidst this apocalypse, yet she still insists on doing whatever she pleases, living lavishly and wastefully. Are you truly going to turn your backs on Mr. Caspian because of asterisk or asterisk?" Phoebe continued to nod, reiterating, "Very true. Yes, I am indeed severing ties and fighting Caspian asterisk for asterisk Belle." Serena's vision darkened, feeling utterly dizzy. Do these people even possess a shred of shame anymore? She grabbed Caspian's sleeve, her face twisted in anguish as she implored, "Mr. Caspian, please, snap out of it. Don't let Belle enchant you anymore." Caspian looked up, his face filled with genuine confusion, and asked, "You also find Belle very captivating?" Then he clasped my hand tightly, a look of profound grievance on his face as he said, "Belle is so well liked by so many people. You won't abandon me, will you?" Phoebe's face was as black as the bottom of a pot, her hand trembling as she pointed at both of us, angrily bellowing, "Caspian, let go of her hand right now." Haha, this scene is absolutely sublime. Serena's heart must be exploding with rage right now. Don't you guys realize what other people are saying? Phoebe, at this moment, looks exactly like a helpless father watching his daughter being lured away by a boy. It's hilariously tragic. All right, a moment of pity for Serena. Serena now seems like she's been forcibly cast as a supporting character in someone else's drama. Serena gritted her teeth, pulled out a large bamboo stick, and pointed it directly at me. "Belle, you are truly a disaster. What kind of hypnotic drug have you given everyone? Every single day you live in such pampered luxury. Do you ever spare a thought for the hungry and freezing outside? Clearly, merely surviving is an immense struggle. By what right do you live in such opulent comfort and carefree abandon? You're gnawing on steamed buns soaked in human blood. Do you possess any conscience at all?" Everyone around began to murmur amongst themselves. It's true that Belle looks charming, but in this chaotic era, it's a bit too extravagant. Exploiting others' suffering for one's own gain, it truly is sickening. The female lead is a transmigrator, not worried about saving the world, only saving her own life? Huh, what's that? Who dictates that a transmigrator must shoulder the burden of the world as a hero? However, if Serena had exerted even a tiny bit of effort, perhaps those people wouldn't have met such unjust deaths. But is it wrong for her to simply wish to live a peaceful life? The atmosphere suddenly became suffocatingly tense, and the expressions on Phoebe's and Caspian's faces instantly turned grim. I felt as if I was being unfairly criticized, so I quickly glanced at the live commenters, then swiftly hid behind Phoebe, whimpering in a pitiful voice. "Big sis. Wah, asterisk, she's so scary." Caspian looked displeased. He pulled me towards him, embracing me tightly. "What's wrong? Do you think I'm not strong enough to protect you?" I tilted my head, looking him up and down, evaluating him bluntly. "You look as weak as green tea. How can you be trusted?" Caspian chuckled softly, his eyes sparkling with amusement. "If Belle prefers a stronger type, then I'll change to suit your preferences." Serena almost shrieked, her voice full of indignation. "You two, are you treating me like air?" Bang, 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 3 consecutive gunshots rang out, shattering the tense atmosphere. Phoebe quickly lunged to shield me, preparing to activate her ability. But Caspian was a step faster. He stood directly in front of me, his face as cold as ice, his hand raised high. Unexpectedly, a gentle and graceful water vortex appeared. It pushed both Phoebe and him aside, then changed direction in midair, encasing each bullet in floating water spheres like transparent pearls. Serena was utterly dumbfounded, unable to believe her eyes. You also possess an ability." "That's right," I chirped. "Who decided that a salted fish can't have powers?" Serena choked, utterly speechless. "So why am I not doing anything, right?" I flashed a radiant, flower-like smile, turning to look at Phoebe with eyes full of tenderness. "Because I have the most wonderful big sis, the best in this entire world." I then glanced at Caspian, hesitating slightly, and shyly added, "And Captain Caspian too." Phoebe nodded vigorously, her eyes shining with fierce pride. "As long as I'm here, Belle can live however she wishes. Who dares to say anything otherwise?" My eyes immediately welled up, my face overcome with emotion to the point of speechlessness. "Oh, big sis Phoebe, you're too good to me." Elder Dew, standing beside us, couldn't take it anymore. He turned away, dramatically pretending to dry heave. "Not again. Good heavens, don't they ever get tired of this acting?" At that opportune moment, Caspian stood up, his calm voice resonating, drawing everyone's full attention. Taking this opportunity, I also wish to make an announcement. Belle is a water ability user. Many of you must have heard this information. So, what has truly allowed this base to survive and flourish to this very day? It is the abundant supply of water and food. Until now, everyone believed that was solely due to Phoebe's spatial ability. But the truth is... He paused for a dramatic beat, his firm gaze sweeping deliberately across every person present. All the drinking water for over 2,000 survivors and more than 300 ability users at this base comes from Belle. Oh, so Belle possessed an ability from the very beginning. Oh my God, mother, she's absolutely brilliant, single-handedly providing enough drinking water for such a massive community. Belle's water ability must be terrifyingly powerful. But having an ability and hiding it, that's even more infuriating, isn't it? Hiding it so completely? Precisely. With great power comes great responsibility. I simply cannot comprehend how someone could live so selfishly. If every ability user concealed their power like her, this world might as well just collapse. If she would just step out and do even a little asterisk work, perhaps people wouldn't have had to suffer so terribly. Excuse me, may I ask again? Is Belle single-handedly providing water for the entire base still not considered enough of a contribution? What more do you people want? Do you want her to sacrifice her very life? Caspian let out a subtle, cold chuckle into the air, not uttering another word, yet everyone present keenly felt the implicit warning in his silence. I also feel like someone just warned me. Me too. Me too. *+1. I tried my best to ignore the turbulent thoughts swirling in everyone's heads, because at that very moment, big sis Phoebe had begun to sob uncontrollably. Belle, I understand now. You hid your ability not because you were selfish, but because you didn't want to contend with me for my position. No wonder everyone accepted me so quickly. It turns out it was all thanks to you secretly doing so much for me. Cough. Actually, I was just being lazy, that's all. If I have power, of course, the first thing I think about is taking care of myself first, right? 1,000 people will have 1,000 different perspectives of me. In this chaotic and dangerous apocalyptic world, human life is too fleeting. I just want to live precisely according to my own desires. I forced out a few more tears, my voice soft and deeply moved. Big sis Phoebe, because I know you are truly worthy of me doing this for you. Big sis Phoebe immediately spun around to Serena, pulling out a gleaming dagger, her face utterly cold. Belle is so kind and innocent, and you dared to try and harm her? No matter how skilled you are, I will personally avenge Belle. Oh, big sis Phoebe, you are too incredibly kind to me. This Belle truly doesn't know how she could ever repay you. I was utterly immersed in my role when I suddenly remembered something crucially important. Wait a minute, wasn't Serena about to awaken her plant ability in the original storyline? I shrieked, my eyes wide with alarm. Big sis Phoebe, wait, don't use that knife. Before the tears in my eyes could even dry, I lunged forward and snatched Serena's hand. What are you doing? Serena's voice became hollow, like a puppet whose strings had been cut. I know everything. You know what? Serena looked bewildered, her face a mask of confusion. I know everything. I squeezed her hand tightly, subtly imbuing her with a sliver of strength. Truthfully, you just want to keep living, so what's wrong with that? You thought I was just a weak little vine, easily trampled by anyone, just as you once tried to do to me. That's why you grew jealous, why you hated me. I understand. Even I would feel uneasy if I saw someone living so comfortably in the midst of this apocalypse. But you have an ability, Serena. You are a strong person. Serena's voice was laced with profound despair. In your eyes, I'm just a clown dancing for your amusement. I shook my head, vehemently denying her negative thoughts. No, you're not. In such harsh circumstances, you still struggled to survive, still sought every path to keep moving forward, unlike those who are truly weak and choose to end their own lives. Trying to live, Serena, is neither something to be ridiculed nor something to be ashamed of. Really? Is that truly real? Of course, I know you are fundamentally a kind-hearted girl. If it weren't for this cruel world, you wouldn't have resorted to such actions. Serena burst into racking sobs, and I gently patted her back to offer comfort. Serena, in this world, relying on men won't guarantee a long life. Only by relying on yourself will you never fall. So do you want to stay and become a part of our team? Me, I'm just an ordinary person. So what if you're ordinary? Look at Elder Dew over there. I pointed towards Elder Dew. The poor man suddenly felt a cold shiver run down his spine at being singled out. In the beginning, he was just a simple-minded, brawny fellow, but now he can confidently lead a team. He's a shining example of how ordinary people can rise up. Serena looked at Elder Dew with tear-filled, admiring eyes. Really? Is that true? Elder Dew's face flushed crimson as he proudly affirmed. That's right, I used to be simple-minded and brawny. After saying it, he suddenly froze, realizing he'd been tricked by this cunning girl. Damn it, I've been fooled. I nodded in satisfaction, smiling sweetly at Serena. Serena, join my team, do you truly not want to? I want to. Serena's eager words were met with thunderous applause throughout the room. Congratulations on finding your new path. Phoebe let out a deep sigh, her eyes suddenly taking on a complex expression. Elder Dew patted her shoulder, comforting her. It's all right, you've seen her true nature now, haven't you? Don't be sad. She manipulates you all the time anyway. Phoebe shook her head, refuting his words. I'm thinking, what if Belle continues to be this kind? I need to try even harder, otherwise, as the apocalypse becomes more dangerous, I'm afraid I won't be able to protect her pure heart. Elder Dew, Caspian, standing nearby, also sighed, his face etched with worry. Elder Du immediately perked up, turning to ask Caspian, "Captain Caspian, have you also seen through her true colors?" Caspian nodded, agreeing with him. "Belle, she's so clever and lively. Sigh, she's so adorable it makes my heart ache. What am I supposed to do now?" Elder Du just wanted to flip the table immediately to make everything clear. Elder Du is about to flip the table. Oh my god, this is hilariously frustrating. These are all Belle's brainwashed fans. If she ever held a class, I'd probably kneel and listen. No joke, Caspian's brain is truly just full of romance. He's completely obsessed. That speech just now, even I was moved and wanted to applaud. The room was incredibly lively, everyone joyous at having welcomed a new member. I looked at the empty flower vase on the windowsill, smiling faintly without saying a word. It seems once Serena awakens her ability, I'll have fresh flowers for my tea every day. This meeting concluded with remarkable smoothness. Caspian very cheerfully agreed to let Phoebe become the undisputed base leader, even cordially announcing, "From now on, when you're free, go inspect the base and fix any lingering issues. Just don't bother Belle and me all day, all right?" Since reclaiming command, Phoebe immediately restored order to the base, sharing vital supplies from her spatial ability to support those barely surviving at the very bottom of society. Next, she proactively expanded diplomatic relations, forging friendly alliances with other bases, jointly establishing an anti-zombie coalition, and meticulously preparing to confront the final, crushing wave of zombies. Everyone deeply admired her for her exceptional leadership and decisive nature. It's just that lately, Serena and Phoebe had started bickering fiercely. "Why do you insist on dividing land among individuals? If we don't divide land, who will cultivate it to provide *U with food? Belle, you tell us who's in the right." I nibbled on half a sweet cookie, the sweetness melting on my tongue, and a question suddenly popped into my mind, so I turned to ask Caspian, who was sitting cozily beside me. Caspian, who do you think is right in this argument?" Caspian didn't even look up, still meticulously peeling ripe, plump grapes and carefully arranging them on a small plate, which he then handed to me. He simply replied nonchalantly, "Elder Du, who do you find reasonable?" Hearing this, Phoebe immediately shot him a sidelong glance, her eyes sharp as daggers, while Serena clearly gritted her teeth, her jaw clenching audibly. "That's right, you tell us who is truly in the right?" she growled, her voice tight with suppressed fury. Elder Du could only remain silent, enduring the tension. "Honestly, you people have become my absolute tyrants." No one dared to utter a single word in response. Night fell, and Caspian, with the effortless grace of routine, expertly climbed through my window into my room. I asked him, curiosity laced with suspicion in my voice, "Didn't big sis Phoebe say she wouldn't hit you anymore? So why do you still insist on climbing through windows?" Caspian casually brushed off a thin layer of grime from his clothes, a mischievous smirk playing on his lips. "Oh, just for the thrill of it, darling." My face instantly flushed crimson, my heart hammering a frantic rhythm. "Belle," Caspian began, his words accompanied by a meaningful chuckle, a smile that held a deep, ineffable promise. "I heard there's a major operation at the base tonight and everyone has to go out." He slowly advanced towards me, his eyes openly brimming with anticipation and subtle seduction. So what?" I tried desperately to maintain my composure, but my voice trembled uncontrollably. Caspian chuckled again, drawing even closer, then whispered into my ear, "Belle is truly clever. Just looking, but not touching. Don't you feel a little itchy?" He took my hand, placing it gently on his waist, his voice suddenly tinged with a hint of vulnerability. "Or perhaps I'm simply not attractive enough for you." Aha, here it comes, here it comes. The charming, universally adored T-male god Caspian has officially logged on. Tusk, today he's pulling out all the stops for his limitless flirting game. Go, Belle, go, my sisters, cheer me on. Don't bother trying to guess a man's intentions. Just press your face against his stomach and listen to his heartbeat. That's all the understanding you'll need. While I wasn't one to be overly modest or reserved, I certainly wasn't that uninhibited either. If we actually did something, it would feel like we were live streaming it to the entire world. I pushed Caspian away, attempting to resist. "Someone will see us, you know." "No one will see." Caspian's voice was a low, husky rumble like the strings of a cello. His mischievous hands began to untie the cute little bows on the dress I was wearing. "How can no one see?" I countered. He looked towards the empty air and snapped his fingers. Why did my screen suddenly go completely black? "Hey, hello," I was just mentally preparing myself to watch the good part, so why are you giving me this blue-balling cliffhanger? Oh, is anyone there? Could Caspian actually see us? I swear, I suddenly felt a cold shiver run down my spine, ladies. No, no one sees anymore, he murmured. Caspian buried his face in my neck, whispering sweet nothings into my ear. From now on, no matter who you compare me to, you must always choose me, Belle. Oh my goodness, why did this tall, powerful body give me absolutely no sense of security whatsoever? I said nothing, only gently hugged him tighter. Caspian exerted a little more force, and the last bow on my dress came undone. Waking up the next morning, I only then learned that the major operation at the base Caspian had mentioned last night was, in reality, a life-or-death battle with the zombie king. My eyes widened in confused disbelief, and I stammered, so the life-and-death ordeal I've been anxiously dreading all this time just passed. Caspian brought me a fragrant breakfast, his eyes crinkling in a smile, and nodded. Yes, from now on, you don't need to worry about your fate anymore. Everyone, I'm finally free from the dark room. I'm crying tears of joy. I absolutely must rewatch last night's film immediately. Quick, look at the hickey on Belle's neck. Oh my god, even if they didn't show me directly, I can perfectly imagine it. Hehehehe. Am I the only one wondering how both Caspian and Belle can see our comments? I instantly sobered up. Ah, that's right. Caspian, how can you see the comments? Caspian draped a soft fur coat over my shoulders, calmly replying, Ah, I have a slight acquaintance with the author. Sisters, does anyone remember when the show first aired? The author once posted a status update, then hastily deleted it. Yes, I remember, she said. The male lead threatened her. If she didn't let him be with the female lead, he would use his ability to wipe out all living creatures in the story world. Oh my god, back then I thought she was joking. Could it really be true? Meaning the male lead has awakened and reclaimed his beloved? I don't quite understand, but this is utterly amazing. My brain has temporarily shut down, but I'm just going to be obsessed for now. That's right, who cares about the details? Just be obsessed, savor it completely, then think about it later. After defeating the zombie king, Big Sis Phoebe and Serena embarked on a vigorous post-war reconstruction effort, simultaneously preparing for the next battle against another base. Generally speaking, if those two weren't actively arguing, they were undoubtedly on their way to argue. Elder Dew, trailing behind them, had successfully cultivated the supreme technique of hearing no evil, seeing no evil, his face expressionless, his heart like cold ash. As for Caspian, lately, he kept trying to persuade me to elope with him, claiming he wanted to journey to distant lands with me. HMPH asterisk, as if I don't understand the machinations of a green tea like you. Aren't you just annoyed that Big Sis Phoebe is still around, an eyesore? But he said, during the apocalypse there are fewer people, so no need to queue, no need to buy tickets. It's convenient to go anywhere and play. That actually sounded surprisingly reasonable. Big Sis Phoebe didn't even spare a thought for the scratches on her face, casually wiped them away, then smiled, shoving a travel bag into my hand. Go on, go. Just as I was about to step out the door, I suddenly remembered a question that had always weighed on Serena's mind. What kind of dark magic did I use to make so many people risk their lives for me? I turned back, rummaged through a box, pulled out a book, and solemnly placed it on her table. On the 13th floor, Phoebe and Serena stood before the floor-to-ceiling window, each holding a small telescope. Aren't you going to see them off? Serena nudged Phoebe with her elbow. Aren't you sad to part with your good little sister? I have spatial ability, darling, Phoebe said with a cold, knowing laugh. If Caspian dares to take Belle out to do anything illicit, I can cross space in a second and wring his neck. Serena shrugged. Oh, that's right, what did Belle give you? Phoebe adjusted the magnification of her binoculars, pressing them against the glass. On the table, clearly visible, was a book with large, bold letters on the cover. If you don't know how to be a leader, you'll just end up meeting the king of hell. Yeah,